would be interesting to ask a few questions about emotions.
Mhm.
Vast topic, affects our life so deeply. How do we, let's say, ride the waves of emotions when they create suffering?
It seems like you are speaking about so-called negative emotion, or like the uncomfortable one or destructive one.
Anger, jealousy, greed.
A whole package, yupla, a whole package that makes life very spicy, no? Yeah, spicy and also destructive. I think the first thing to look at is that we don't fully go inside the emotions. And whatsoever, even emotion, even some happy one, we stay very much on their expression, the outer layer of those energies, and so we don't really go in the energy to understand what's their center, from where they come up into life. So on some level, I would say we kind of waste them. It's a bit strange to articulate it like that, but from observation, I see we tend to get rid of them very quickly. So let's say anger, let's say this so-called negative one, jealousy, is very tempting to, when the energy start boiling, because they are very boiling, those one, to just put it out. And instead of staying with it and going at the center. And I do understand it's not that easy. I see for myself, if I look back some years where I was quite full on with this type of emotion, controlling life of others and mine too, and completely actually avoiding what's the emotion. And this classical example, very cliche maybe, of speaking, these are the waves on the ocean, and you don't go inside the ocean to really feel what it is about. So we live life with those waves, and it seems that this is life, the waves. And on some level it is, but there is more. And the more is to dare to have the courage that when this is coming up, those waves, can I get the courage once in a while to, instead of going in the expression, to go one step deeper and fully go in the center of that energy. It gets very interesting. We can meet depths of the life force before it gets expressed, before it gets out. So here we have a different phenomenon. There is an energy that I want to go out, and I use it to go in. For that, you have to befriend those energies. You have to befriend emotions, which for many of us is not the case. We don't like certain emotions. We even define them, negative, positive emotions, which also understandable somewhere, because some they bring pleasure and some they bring pain. So we have a whole range of a selection, good, bad, positive, negative, pleasure, pain. We try to navigate all this. It's a layer which is understandable, but it's not enough. And there is a moment where you get the courage, first of all, to be friends, and to see that actually they all have the root in one center and in one energy. Strong life force that expresses itself in many different ways. So what about at least one time having the courage to say, okay, there is this wave of anger popping up. I'm not suppressing it, that's the fine line. I'm not suppressing it, it is there, it is full on, like very strong, but I don't go out, I go in. And you can imagine it's very powerful. For example, because you say anger, there are very powerful forces. We can see the power they can get when they go out. Even in destruction, it's extreme. So imagine if the same power, you turn it to go in. And it starts nourishing awareness on such a level. Because in order to do this, you need such a presence. You need to be so much there, so much aware. In first, not controlling the emotion, not suppressing it. As you keep the water boiling, don't try to shut it down. And you reverse the whole energy towards yourself, which for some is dangerous, because if they do this, they become, they put the anger on themselves, they become destructive to themselves. So this also we don't want. So that as that you start looking at those emotions very friendly, to see it is not against you, it's not against somebody, it's an expression. And let's see what happened. Like this thing that at some point, somewhere in our talks, I don't remember, I was sharing about how you track back the energy to its source. And now when you have anger that it's ready to come out, it's intense. You're already in quite a boiling point. So to see, okay, there now, calm down, and I'm enough alert, enough aware to not touch that energy. To not touch it, meaning I don't manipulate it, either in suppressing it, either in putting it against me. No. It just, can you have a little sense of wonder? Can you have it for a moment? What is this? We never question. We just like, well, it's like it's normal, and it's also what we see all around us. Everybody expressing, going full on with their positive or negative emotion, doesn't matter. It's just like, let's put out. It's a way we have to, it seems like, to make contact, to communicate. Fine to a certain point, where you start at some point to realize that it does generate some type of suffering, and you would like them to investigate a little bit more what it is. And if you want to know what it is, personally, I started by expressing all my emotion like crazy, to way too far extent, and I have seen this is not the way. So then I started to move this in a safe container. So a very simple example, anger, instead of putting it out, especially boyfriends in that case, go in a room, full on my cushion, at least it doesn't go out on somebody. So to personal experience was the first step. First step, when it's about at least this kind of destructive emotion, it is not on somebody anymore. So to have the awareness that, wow, now it's gonna take a weird way, even to say, okay, you know what, now I'm just like completely pissed, angry, bye-bye, I retire somewhere, and I put it out. I put it out because I don't have capacity to contain that energy yet. And I feel it's very beautiful to have that honesty, to see that I can't contain it, so if I keep it, I'm going to suppress it, and it's going to start eating me up. I'm going to get sick. It's very destructive when it goes this way. It's like auto-destructive. So yeah, fine, that stage, I don't have capacity, let's just, on my own. You could say this is a bit a stage of a kind of catharsis, which it is. It is very healthy. Very healthy. And there, in that stage, in my personal experience, it was very interesting. Oh, I'm alone. with this anger, with this jealousy. So actually I can look at it a little bit better. And actually I can express it totally. Because with anger towards someone, if you a little bit there somewhere, at least for me, there was a moment like I don't put it all out because I see, oi, it's gonna go really bad. So it's not total in a way in it. And alone, I could see, wow, I'm free to explode, free to give it all in that energy. And it helped a lot to see how it rises inside, how it goes out, to see its power, to see how far it can go actually. When you have your cushion in pieces and you realize, oh, it could have been the face of my boyfriend actually, then you're like, oof. So you start understanding how it functions. It's movement, it's expression. You start becoming friend with it. Meaning you also don't have a judgment on it. That is wrong, that is this whole movie we have. You start getting out of all this frame inside. And looking at it, it's a form of energy. It has a certain power, it has a certain path inside the system. And you get a little bit more inquiry, like I say, having a sense of wonder about it. So the next step, when it rises, you stay a bit more calm with it. And you can reach this point, it's fully there, you're not repressing it, you're not expressing it, you stay with it. And it's extremely interesting what you discover. You discover how it gets motivated, which kind of thoughts it's very linked together, which kind of a structure of thoughts you have around this, what provoked them. You start to see a bit the whole play of mind, of emotion. This whole system gets clearer by and by. It requires more and more awareness, more and more calmness, more sense of play, because I feel it become very playful to start observing this, to start becoming aware of it. And in this way, it's again personal experience. I'm not stating here, oh, everybody, this is how things should go. There I feel I can only speak about I've been moving. In that capacity to observe a bit more, to be with it. I will not even say content, just be with it, without the expression. Strangely enough, at the same time, a receptivity open up. I'm with you, you start putting some stuff that like, start motivating this kind of different thoughts that I don't agree with you, or more, then anger starts shooting in the system. And if you don't go that direction, there is a receptivity. I can listen to you. So it has, to me, a major impact on different idea, different conditioning in mind of what's right, what's wrong. You start moving this way. You have your mind also that open up. So it doesn't go reactive. And because those reactions provoke those type of emotion. It's all linked together. So it crumbles down this whole system. So everything starts opening up. So might be I don't forcefully agree or whatever. I did it. So we can laugh, it's okay. Inside joke, guys, sorry. Not, we keep it. We will write in text what it is about. For now, let's continue the conversation. So you enter this system slowly, that is fine. I don't completely agree, but I'm not fighting. So I'm not in a reaction and getting angry and this and that or jealous or whatsoever. you enter a center of calmness. And I do see that all emotions, if you go deep, 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 there is a center of calmness, whatsoever the emotion. And you can stay in that center of calmness, and those different type of emotion, they grow in maturity. Observe emotions, they have, oh, this is tricky one to say, they have a childish expression. I think I need to explain how I see, because it can end up in the wrong box if I put it this way. Let's say as a little child, you have no other way to express. This is your language, and is also very suppressed, without explanation. We don't understand very much how a child expresses. A child has no other choice. There are even part of the brain that are not yet developed. So his communication, he, she, is through those kind of emotions. It's beautiful. It should be completely allowed. A child has to pass through this fully. Then he can mature, and his the emotion of the child can mature also. If not, which is I see a lot around, is a bit sad, it always suppressed, because adults are afraid also of their own emotion. They also don't understand their own emotion. They're going to suppress it in the child. The child has already at 3 years old be civilized, an adult, and I mean, it's a little bit. So what happened there? You grow up by just suppressing this aspect, and for sure, whatever you suppress is gonna pop up again, very crazy, wild, and extreme, in extreme situation, extreme ways. So what do you have? You have adults that have, for whatsoever reason, suppressed this language of emotion. So what happened is that it stays childish. It stays as a 3 years old. So you might be 30, 40, whatever, 80, and have this language that didn't grow, that didn't mature. So, like I say, you can be 40, and when it's about emotion, you get like a 3 years old. So this whole part puts us very imbalanced, extremely imbalanced. And plus this potential of energy that flows through emotion is completely squeezed in a box. So you have a fruit that didn't mature, or a flower that didn't fully open and share its fragrance. So we don't have the fragrance of emotion. We don't have it. And emotion, when they mature, they become very delicate. Then you have very sensitive emotions coming up, which not so many dare to open up. So this is why I said, to explain clearly, they are very childish, our emotions. And this needs to be clear. It's not a condemnation on emotion. Far from that. Emotions are incredibly beautiful. But they need to mature. They need to mature to their full spectrum. And to get there, my personal way has been this stage that I just shared about, so that I could get at the center of the emotion, at the center of those energies, and to see that, oh wow, wait a minute, they have actually a capacity of expression much more bright, much more into connection than freaking out in anger, where you get completely mess up even there, and when you close down, basically, and when you keep yourself quite a lot in a different boxes of opinion. So when is the moment to shift, to make that shift, to go tracking back the center of those emotions? I guess you have to pass through different stages. And one that I feel important, get first of all to be total with those emotions, not with your boyfriend or your kids or alone. Dare to be full in it. Meet the power, meet it even physical everywhere.
You mentioned that that is the first step, to be alone and to let the full expression happen. And what would be the practical way of the second step when you say to go inside and meet the source? How do you know that you have actually came to the source of it? And what are the steps to go there?
Again, I get it very from personal experience. I remember when I freaking out, the cushion, whatever. Also sadness. I mean, I say anger, any kind of emotion, and it's really started to make me laugh, and to see the whole idea I had about those emotions, or the fear even of them, a fear of the anger, fear of the sadness, of the jealousy, all those things, that then you realize that it's not a big deal. And second, you realize, but I'm in control of them. I'm not a victim, which for many is the case. To say it is a good excuse most of the time. Oh, it just came up. I could not help it. I just punched the face. What to do? I came also actually it went fast, just to say for everyone listening, it's not 50 years process. If you total, it goes very fast. So to slowly realize that I am in control of this, and not control freak. I have a choice. I have a choice. I have the choice when the energy starts bubbling up. I have the choice to relax, to watch a bit more clearly what it is that motivates this. And for me, most of the time I have seen, is in the mind. The mind is closing down on a specific idea. The mind is closing down, saying, oh no, I'm right, she wrong, blah, 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 whatever. So by and by, you see, okay, you come to this point, I'm in control. And there, maybe I have to add one thing, because in those stages, I say, oh, something makes you angry, go in your room, beat up the cushion, fine. Then another maybe stage I should have mentioned, you're completely fine, or happy you please, nothing piss you off, then do it, provoke it, play with it. And that's also very, there you start to realize that, oh, but then I can control or master it, I can choose right now, I'm angry. And so you're more playful with them. And you see that this all chaos and madness, you can be in, you can be out. So you end up in looking very clearly, I'm never a victim of it. I choose, and might be a completely unconscious choice, that for sure, many times when it goes out of hand and you come back to what just happened, it was quite an unconscious choice. So it becomes clearer, the choice. So you come to a point of, you can be in that fullness and realizing that the choice, and also the choice to stay in it without expression, to simply use this same energy, go in. So if I could give a picture, there is a huge storm and you're sitting there and you don't move. It's so beautiful. So sure, the mind gonna go banana with all kind of stories, it's gonna boil even physically, and yet you don't move. It's not against either the movement of energy, and is not against mind getting a banana, and to see by and by to have more and more anchor into that center. It needs a strong willingness, because so many temptations to, it's uncomfortable, those energies. So to have by and by the willingness, take those energy to support me to enter this pool of kindness.
I think sometimes it may be difficult to get the actual idea or how to go inside. What does it actually mean? Do I like close my eyes and look in my body? Do I feel the energy? What do you mean by going inside the center of emotion? Okay. Practically, now I sit, I'm full of anger, what do I do?
Feel it. So, full of anger, the first one, okay, we are in that stage, we don't put it out.
Exactly, when I don't want to express it, I just want to go inside.
Close your eyes, feel the rush in the body. So, meaning, we still in the same process we've been already speaking, go in the body.
Feel my heartbeat, for example.
Feel the heartbeat, feel all the sensation, the whole fire. Beautiful life. So you have to shift with all ideas, anger, is this, is that, is jealousy, is a mind, I want to fix this. What about it? Just feel it. It's gonna make you feel your body, I can tell you. Very hot emotion that asks so much in the body, then enter the body. I always say you can enter the center of consciousness from any door. So now the door, there is a rush of anger. You have understood it's gonna give some weird thing on the face of my boyfriend, or it's gonna break the dishes, so let's not go there. You have understood already, I'm not going to put this on myself and punching my face instead of punching the face there. So you are already quite far in the process. Feel the energy in the body. Enter the body then from there. That whole liveness inside. Moving, kicking like crazy. With not the label anymore.
I remember some time ago being in anger. It's so difficult not to move, like you say, to be still and feel it and not to just go in it.
Yeah, it's an energy that asks for a lot of movement. Sadness already asks less movement. You see, with sadness, actually, it's going to ask the opposite. It's a complete collapse. You go under your blanket, you don't move anymore. It's the end of the world, and hallelujah. And well, okay, it's very depressing, anti-expression, I could say. It has this beauty too. But for the one that asks so much movement, it's incredible to stay in it. Not even a finger, just, and it has to go somewhere, this energy, if it doesn't go out. That's the understanding that if it doesn't go out, where it goes back to its source. So this is why if you don't have the negativity around that type of expression, don't have all kind of concept and idea that it is wrong and blah blah, whole fight, a conflict. We are in conflict all the time. We generate conflict with everything. It's incredible. So we generate conflict with those emotions. So sure, it becomes very difficult to befriend them and to use them as a door to go in. So first, anger is beautiful. So, yet you have discernment inside, which shows you have matured a bit. that this energy needs to be expressed carefully. Other example, because how to express it, I always like those expression of some Zen masters or even tantric masters that you would from outside you say, oh, this is insane. The anger they can put on a disciple is very misunderstood. This, for many people, it's very, for many people, difficult to understand this, because we see the master all enlightened and it should be always like no waves. No, the master can pick up, if it's necessary, can pick up a wave and pour it on you to wake you up. It's very powerful, very beautiful. So hopefully we can manage at some point to be in a pool of calmness, and when it's necessary on some situation, I pick up this expression with clear discernment, because it's useful in that moment. It's the expression that is needed. That's quite some maturity. You see, in Tantra, we don't afford any judgment on whatsoever expression of the life. You can't afford this. It's not possible. Any little corner you say it's wrong, it's negative, you have already condemned the whole life force then, and condemn yourself at the same time. So what we would like is to meet all the expression possible. Absolutely all of them. All the expression of energy, need to look at them very carefully and understanding how they move, what they motivate inside, how they are constructed, and how I channel them. How I channel them, that's the thing. And it's not about how I control them, how I suppress them, how I channel them. Unless you want it, as long as you don't want it, keep on playing till you are fed up of the suffering, basically.
Another question about indulging in emotions. How do you know that you are, let's say, where it's good to express emotion? Let's say sadness, for example. That sometimes it's okay to cry, to let's say feel the sadness, and where is the line where it's okay to feel it, allow it to be, to flow, and to indulge? When do I start indulging in it? And then I know that I have to do something, but not through suppression, but through, let's say, conscious way of being with that emotion.
There we enter a complexity, or that require maybe to look at different angle. Let's start somewhere. Indulging. Indulging is not just indulging in an emotion. Is indulging in a certain pattern of the mind, some thought patterns, whatsoever the thought pattern. So we have loops. We have loops in the mind that keep the mind very narrow. So meaning those loops, they have a point of view, and you're stuck in that point of view. You cannot go. So you create loops of thoughts. They constantly come back, and for sure those loops of thoughts, they link with some emotions. Now you mentioned sadness, so let's take this one. I have a point of view on myself, on a situation. I can't stretch it at all. I keep it, and in that point of view, there is a mechanism of different thoughts and emotion, like sadness. And here it goes. And here you are in a vicious circle. It keeps on, it keeps on, it keeps on. Unless there is a situation outside coming up that shake you out, then you will out. or you end up like having reached the bottom of the whole thing, and then okay, you out. Till next time. Till next time. There are mechanisms, so till next time, next situation, next whatever, that trigger again the same thought patterns, the same loop, and here we go. So we have this mechanism, and the little trouble in that mechanism, we are attached to it, we are identified with it, and we sure we are right. It's right. You do something that provoke some ideas that it is wrong, it makes me sad, and I think I'm right. I never question that is there another point of view on that situation. Can I look at it different? Can I open my mind for something different? Another tricky point. That's a delicate one. We have chemistry. Everything is linked together. So the thought patterns provoking this emotion, and this provoke chemistry inside. And that's one is interesting, because that one we get very addicted.
Also for women during menstruation.
Oh, so
chemistry thing.
That's another movie. Let's keep it gender neutral, if it's to say, for everybody. Women, we could have another long talk about it, but let's keep it this way. So this chemistry, we get quite addicted. So especially if you tend to go many times into it, like a personal example. I needed to be angry at least every 3 days. It took time for me to look at this. That I was like, what is this about? 3 days more or less of peace, and after 3 days in the morning already feeling uncomfortable and finding something, anything, especially in my boyfriend at that time, to let's trigger something. So I have a rush. I didn't know at that time. When I started to observe this loop of 3 days, I got quite worried. No, essentially, I got worried. I'm sick. Something is really wrong with me. Trying to always activate this. And okay, huge wave of anger, break the dishes or whatever, do something, yell like hell. Somewhere there, I felt there is something to look. A little satisfaction. Even in the top of the anger, like inside a little like satisfied. And there I do also satisfied of certain power game. I have overpowered my partner, I'm happy, I win the game. Okay, this one, fine. But physically, almost, I could say, orgasmic.
Orgasmic anger.
But honestly, yes, something, so charged again, yeah. There it starts essentially to look, and it took time, it took inquiry in many ways, inside and also outside, and by getting to know this whole system of chemistry that is linked to emotions, and that's pretty interesting, and that I do advise people, please read about it. Start looking. There's many beautiful people who did very interesting research, and I feel it's for everyone to look and to not blame it all on chemistry. Look your whole process of mind and all these things, but this addiction that goes with those chemistry, they are strong. They are very strong and make us indulge again and again. So you have, of course, indulging in the thought pattern because it keeps you comfortable in your little box. Then you don't have to look somewhere else. You sure you are right anyway. So I feel it start looking at question always Don't keep standing, I am right, I am right. It's a step, it's a huge step. It's an ego killer, but it's an essential step. You in such a situation motivate sadness, anger, whatever. See the thoughts that are linked with it, and it always ends up, I am right. It's fascinating. And in that moment, can you open up? Question, is it really true? I'm right now? Is it really true? Can there be something else? Can there be another possibility? It's fantastic. It's a very beautiful journey. And it's not a mind game, because you can do this as a mind game and you end up nowhere. It's a very sincere openness. Makes you very vulnerable, extremely vulnerable, very shaky. It suddenly destroy a pattern and open a new possibility to look at the situation and to look at yourself. Instead of always looking at yourself and the situation through the same pattern, same again and again. So to slowly let go this addiction, this indulging in that thought pattern, and it cut down many links inside, and it releases a new energy, new possibility. It lifts you up instead of looking from down here. Oh, let's go up and see a bit bigger picture of inside and outside. And then you stay connected to the situation, because also this one I feel very important to mention. Situation, whatever provoke this, I'm already disconnected from the situation. I'm already not looking anymore. I'm just in that frame, and I project it on the situation. So you see there, it asks already quite some steps of observation. There is a situation, and actually I'm not open to the situation. I'm not receptive to the situation. I have already projected that little box that sees the situation this way. And there it goes. And I'm addicted to that. I'm indulging to that idea that the situation is like this. My boyfriend, this weekend, where's my boyfriend? He's there, behind the camera. My boyfriend, this weekend, went with another woman. We don't say the name, whatever, went with another woman. Frame in my little brain. Where I got that frame already, you have to question this. It has been imprinted from parents, from society, education. It's bad. It's not good. He should not do this. He should be faithful. I'm his queen, and he should be at my feet all the time. He should not be happy with another woman. Never. Only with me, sure, obviously. Whatsoever. So all this is a box. There is a situation. He come back home and say, you know what, this weekend, wow, I had such a good time with this woman. It goes very fast. I hit the box, the door is closed, and the box is projected outside. I didn't give not even a half of a second to breathe and be open to the situation. Stay with the situation without motivating the box. Sure, maybe it comes, but see, okay, yes, I know the box, I've been there many times in that loop of thoughts. So I don't indulge again. I don't indulge again because I know the suffering. I even know what's going to happen. It's so predictable. Do you want to live your life always predictable? How boring. How utterly boring. You can predict everything. You don't need Madame Irma in crystal ball to tell you what's next. It's very easy. You can yourself. It's so predictable. You know already everything that's gonna come next. So it hits this. You need to be sharp. You need to be extremely sharp with yourself. I say, fine. Can I stay open to the situation? Like I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know nothing. There is this man. He comes. He shares this story. And I don't know. I open. I feel. I let it all enter. And I don't know. We come back in the same story. I'm receptive. I keep the field receptive. Even my body, everything. I'm receptive. And I don't know. Right, wrong, should not do this, should not do that. So we start to shift a deeper layer. We don't relate anymore in reaction coming from those boxes. We don't indulge in those reactions. So I'm not going to have the whole sequences of the emotion coming with it, the whole drama, the whole movie again and again. So I don't have also all those chemistry coming up. I will have something else.
What is that?
That's the interesting one. If you don't go in at the whole sequences, what's going to happen next? From where you are going to receive this situation? If it's not from this sequence, you have placed yourself somewhere else. Where? That's interesting. Mm-hmm. So where there is another place to live life than this center. You see, we have centered ourselves in those boxes. We have centered ourselves in mind. And plus, interestingly enough, without knowing the mind. Mm-hmm. Making the mind so little, petit, small. So we center ourselves there, and not only that, we say, this is me. And I have rights there. I'm right, I'm wrong. Rarely wrong, always right, most of the time. And I live life from here, and I relate from there. There's a lot of clashes, because the one in front has also his own boxes with his own ideas. Sometimes they fit. All is fine, my friend. It's all fit. You can have whatever, nice flow, so-called, but sometimes they don't. And then you have the whole system of reaction and imposing, I'm right with this, I'm right, whatever. So if you don't go in this movie, you would take the center out somewhere else. The whole work, if it's to say work, I prefer to say play, get back to the true center. Use the whole energy somewhere. So you start to move back home, not in the box, back home. It's much bigger. It's very big. So here we work with the center of the heart. In the move of, at least, I can't say whole Tantra, I can only speak from lineage I come from. We see, let's bring back here. And it's not the romantic heart that everybody tend to think about. It's not all going out, say, we all one, and peace, my friend, on you, and all this nonsense. It's far from that. There's no romanticism around it. We see how we bring, by and by, all the energy involved in a fake center in the box, indulging there. We bring back energy here, and we do it via the body. So the example we were just sharing before, I'm angry because I'm right, or this and that. Calma. In the body. Use this energy now that is boiling in the body, use it. Use it to enter that center. pull the energy over here, and it's no effort. And there are different schools that shares a lot of effort of pumping up energy. I'm not from a school like that. Relax, it's very natural. Energy always goes back to its source if you stay calm. And there is a source here. So the center of the heart, from I described from my lineage, is not just like always love. It's consciousness. You go deep, 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 and you go with this beautiful garden full of flowers of love, beautiful, and you go back there. Before a consciousness express itself in words, in movement, in whatsoever, go back to that pull, that concentration of energy. So we were in the situation. The boyfriend's come by, he was with a girl, whatever. What's the choice? I go in the sequence we describe, or I receive here. I receive. It's life, the boyfriend, no? His life, with his experience. I receive. I receive. I listen. And I receive. It's energy coming in. Skip the stories. Because first you might think it's a story. Yeah, the story went, it did this, and that. What about I receive all his energy? Because what happened actually to him during this weekend? It's energy. He has even opened a lot of different type of energy with himself. Can I receive this energy? Can I drink this energy completely? You understand? We fly a bit high, by the way. We far from the narrative, the blah blah blah, completely different. He shares his energy through words. There is an energy coming in. Can I receive this? And beautifully enough, in those moments, you have been in the same experience than him. In those moments, you share his experience. Actually, in those moments, he empowers you with his experience. It's extremely beautiful. You see that you shift from the box that's going to take everything personal, and in that case, of course, saying it's against me, to something completely different. His consciousness, yeah, that consciousness has expressed itself through via different experiences. This is also consciousness that was in a different place than his weekend with the girlfriend, was at home, peacefully at home, doing something, stitching, whatever. This consciousness went through different experience, different expression. This one, but what's the there is no difference with the center of consciousness here than in the so we meet here, and you really realize deeply his experience is my experience too. We both went through the same experience. At first, you need to go via all this sequence to see, no, I stop, without condemning. Please, in this, I'm not condemning the boxes of the mind. I'm not saying mind's wrong. I'm not saying the jealousy is wrong. It's just, do you want to go via that channel again and again and again? And again, that's it. And in finally understanding, okay, let's, I don't need to stay in that sense. I go back here, I enter here, and I receive from here. beautifully enough, it's gonna open the mind. It's gonna free the mind of those boxes. The mind is also tired. We misuse the mind. We misuse the mind. We also very childish with mind. We are very unfriendly with the mind. We're very bad. It's not beautiful what we do to the mind. We also keep the mind prisoner of some friends. The mind is going cuckoo. Poor little one, take care of your mind. Feeding it in the same box is the same. It goes crazy, sure. It turns round, it's like an animal in a cage. It goes crazy, asking for freedom. So we have to understand this construction we have made, and we are the architect. You can blame your papa, your mama for a certain extent, but there is a moment you take responsibility. I'm the architect of my mind. And sure, there are many that did contribute, fine. There is a moment you stop there blaming outside and say, okay, now I'm the architect of my own prison. If I'm the architect, I'm also the one who can demolish the prison. No? So we need first to start looking and understanding all the constructions, and to see the mind as such much bigger capacity. It's so big, so vast. It's many times, it's also a cliche picture, but it's sincerely one of the most beautiful one. When you say mind is a clear blue sky, how vast is that? And we stay focused on just one cloud. And not only focus on that one cloud, but entertaining that one cloud, like it's just this, identifying like crazy, shaping your whole personality in it, would be like you always go with the same clothes. I mean, and plus you don't wash it. It stinks at some point, no? And it gets, okay, whatever, weird example, whatever, and makes life very small. Very small, is much more capacity. So by putting you back in the, it's dangerous to say real center. It can be so misinterpreted, so this thing, okay, whatever. Back to the center, minds open up. You also start encountering what is mind. And it is not the little construction we make out of it. Mind is very beautiful. Okay. Befriend your mind. That's the only thing I would say. Befriend your mind. If you want to understand it, you need to understand how it works. You need to understand, if you put yourself in a car, you need to understand how it works, no? Otherwise, maybe it doesn't start, or if it starts, you have an accident. So we all have accidents constantly with our mind. It's terrible. We don't have education around this. We don't have education on the mind. We don't have education on how it is linked with our emotion. We don't have education at all on the body. This one is terrifying. And we don't have education on intuition. This is not education, it's your breath. Yeah? So all, how everything can work naturally is get fucked up. It gets messed up. So we are in a very beautiful system of body, mind, emotion, sensation, everything. It's amazing. It's an amazing vehicle to enter life, to enter consciousness. And this all mess up. It's all upside down. And for some of us, even broken. So that requires quite some healing. And hopefully you can really heal. Some, I wonder, is very damaged. So Tantra, not again to claim Tantra can make it all. There are many other paths, beautiful. I can only speak from the path where I walk. It does a lot to bring us back into our nature. It gets back in the nature of this system. Nature of the mind, nature of emotion, of body, everything. Get back in this nature. It starts by becoming friendly with it. So the first one is stop the conflict. Stop the conflict. Nothing is wrong with this whole system. It's a piece of art. A piece of art. Enter it, become more and more mature, it can expand, and it can bring you in such incredible states of consciousness. You live in the maximum. And as this one, I insist always, it doesn't take long. If you have already at first the willingness to befriend all this, even if it's a bit broken and a little bit in excess and a little bit cuckoo here and there, if you start to befriend all this, look at it, that what is this amazing opportunity to be in this system. So might be it starts by befriend and by being grateful. And I know again many have thousands of reasons not to be grateful and blame this and blame, yeah. Enjoy the game for some time. We are free there.
What about people who live life basically without emotions? You can say numb or, they just don't feel. What's their situation, and do they have to do anything about it?
If they want to do something about it, because some they're satisfied like that. I do meet people like this that at some point realize, something is bizarre. My first little guidance in that, the body needs to move. So we see how we bring back motion into the body. And it's strange because many of those people, they even do to gym, they go. So we have to see, go with the body by feeling the body. I see these sport guys or women, not just guys, they don't feel. They just, they build up, and they strengthen even more the numbness, the close down, because they don't have access anymore. We don't change the setting. This for me, don't change the setting. If the setting is like this, the situation, fine. Next time you run, you swim, enter a bit more the body, enter the movement even. It's simple, we don't need to do big thing at first. You do a move, whatever, swimming, whatever, lifting up. Can you be with that move? So we look now to bring some presence. Instead of putting some music when you do your pop-up like that, and actually not feeling nothing, just being somewhere else. Maybe shut down the music, it will help. Maybe later on you can bring it back, but at first. And bring some presence to the movement. Completely lift up something. Be really fully in the whole move. Quickly you will get aware that actually maybe 1 second you're there and the second after you are not. So it will start to show you something that actually you're not very present in your body. You're not very connected to the body, to its sensation, to its movement. So we build up from there. And beautifully enough, it's gonna warm up some feelings, some emotions. It goes together. For many, and I'm not saying it's a general rule, I'm not stating that, but for many, it goes that even that this emotional flow is frozen in the muscles somewhere. Everything got frozen. So we looked at through those muscles, we start to build some armor to not feel things coming from out. There's a situation outside. There are situations outside that gonna motivate some different even thoughts or emotion that we don't want. We have decided this I don't want in my life to maybe too painful whatsoever. Mostly is because pain. So we don't want to see this again. So we shut down. If you start moving the body, being present, you will see it's also in the body. And it starts opening up again. So this you need also the courage to look at it. But I see for many at first, it's actually things very beautiful that come up. Like, a sense of even feeling so good, suddenly. A little moment of presence back towards the body, moment of training muscles or whatsoever, or hard physical work, or just go running, you feel so good. There is a little sweetness of a little moment back more towards you, because also the body is full of pleasure. So we start to rekindle the pleasure, the feeling of pleasure in the body. There's quite some sweet happiness popping up, like some joy coming up. So you start feeling better. From there, a bit more connected suddenly to others, to outside. If you're swimming, suddenly it's like, oh, this water on my skin, but it's quite nice. You realize you never felt it before. You were just out to swim. Hard work, especially. So the numbness, we tackle it from pleasure. That's the first thing. We're not going to pop up in all the emotion box at first. Let's go from pleasure. Let's go from a place where, I start to go. Because there I will regain some trust that I lost on the way somewhere. So we would like to redirect. So we redirect presence towards the body in something that actually you like to do, which is training muscle, hopefully you like to do it, or doing something else with your body. Presence towards the body, presence towards the sensation it gives muscle, the sensation. And this pleasure, we start to explore it, make it brighter. And you cannot take away the sensation of pleasure from certain type of emotions. It's also interesting. And it's not necessarily emotion linked via too many thoughts. So it's interesting different ways to open up this flow. A sensation of well-being. You could say an emotion of well-being, where everything is a bit balanced. Your mind more balanced, your body, everything. It's just a beautiful emotion of, I feel good. And you will see it's not even linked to a thought.
I think for quite many people that sensation of well-being is quite far away in this stressful environment, rushing, responsibilities and so on.
Yeah, but we again don't disturb this emotion. You are in a stressful environment, whatever, you bring presence always towards the body again and again and again. Small sensations in the body. You start putting the energy involved in a fake center back to the right center. You change your life extremely fast. I even prefer to say it a bit different. You change the way you move in life. From this center to another one. And now what we would like, we're not even speaking about the heart, not even speaking about consciousness. Can you live your life with this center, body center? So, get back the presence in the sensations. And from there, very quick, lots start opening up. So all the frozen emotion, all this armor starts melting down. And there we have different situations that I see many times. Those guys that were managing their life in a tough way. I don't feel nothing, I'm numb, but at least I make money. So, who cares? I handle my life, because it's so-called the way to handle life. No? And they realize I can't do it anymore. I was the tough guy and now I'm the weepy one, crying for nothing. I get too sensitive, it's too much. Yeah, guys, yeah. You're gonna get sensitive. And if you don't want this, then please don't start. That's it. Then stay locked down in your box, make your money fine. That you have to know. You have to know what's going to happen. If you defreeze the box, everything gonna start opening. You're gonna get sensitive, and because you don't know that sensitivity, it's gonna show up with so many emotions. It's gonna go, you would say, out of hands in the beginning. It's a passage. Yeah, please go in it intelligently. It's fine. And then you're gonna recognize all those emotions. Then you start having your work in it, and you start having emotions. This one is an interesting one. Emotions that are not linked to the box of the mind, where we start having what I call the mature emotions. Gratitude is a very mature emotion sprouting from that center. Not, you can't fake gratitude. I know some people, they cultivate it. It's very fashion in the spiritual world. Let's all be grateful. Namaste, everyone, and doing all kind of fake prayers, all from the mind, not from the true feeling, the true expression coming from this center. But about defreezing the box, yeah, it's going to go all over at some point. So this is why also in Tantra we have very beautiful method that it doesn't become chaotic.
Which method?
I was speaking, you the guy swimming. It's a lot of sensation, no? Mm-hmm. I mean, you are touch. Is if it's to look the sense of touch all over the water is touching you. It's quite easy, no? Mm-hmm. So let it enter the sensation. Let it enter here, not the mind. You can let that sensation come in the mind. In the mind, it's gonna generate different thoughts. That's gonna generate an emotion of happiness. Now, we let it enter the heart. It's gonna also generate an emotion. We might even have tears of such a gratitude. So grateful. This is, and with such a calmness, with many different things that gonna sprout from there, of kindness. There's a whole range there. Not linked to the system there. Mind constructing emotions. Completely different. So for the one in their numb situation, we go via the body, the presence to the sensation, we start bringing some nice pleasure, And to avoid that it goes all over the place when the sensitivity gonna come, we immediately see we bring a practice that gonna channel the sensitivity here in the heart, so that it doesn't go shooting too much in the mind. It will a little bit. You're gonna have, but at least you will know. Okay, I bring it here. I bring it. I center here. It's very well designed. I think tantric master, they have looked in such a depth in all this system, how to channel everything properly into the system, beautifully into the center. And in that it brings back an order, an harmony in everything. And so at the same time you bring presence towards sensation in the body, for the numb one or not the numb one, it's the same for everybody. You have a harmony that starts opening up on every level. Mind, emotion, everything, body. Body also, you will see you get more healthy. Everything is more fluid. You get also much more energy into the body. You're more vital, less up and down. You're going to start looking at many things. Your food, your drink, your situation that stress the body, you're going to say, okay, maybe I'll stop this. It has a lot of impact in defreezing the numb thing.
I think there is a lot of fear also in this defreezing of emotions.
Sure, a huge fear. Because everybody, more or less, is a bit aware of what's behind. Everybody more or less remembers when it started and for what. Some it can be a traumatic experience, different, and you don't want to get back there. It's painful, so I'm sure there is a fear that all these things they come up. So might be that at the same time we do this work of bringing back presence to sensation, to body, you need maybe something to support, some healing work to support, very important. So you have to know how you enter the past that might need different things for you to ease the coming back in. That might be important. So now we have quite different possibilities of healing, of therapy. All these things are useful and might be supporting, especially at the start, so that you can enter deeper and that you can really move with the meditation. There's plenty of now in the field.